Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio. It's Monday and back to work. We've got a new College World Series champion after the weekend. Your thoughts on Ole Miss?
Ole Miss certainly deserved to get it. And this is very interesting, too, from a historical standpoint, because either team, had they won, would have had a great storyline. Had Oklahoma won, they would have been the first school in history to have both the men's and the women's teams win in the same season. Their softball team was champion. And in Mississippi's case, which is a storyline, the power of college baseball stays in that state, because last year Mississippi State won the state title.
Yeah, that's right.
Or the national title. And those two hate each other. In fact, Ole Miss players were, you only kept it 1 year, didn't you? Now we got it. So there's a great rivalry going on. But in Ole Miss's case, it's a wonderful story, a comeback story that's really one for the ages. At one time this year, they were 7-14. Now, this is college baseball. You only play 56 games. They were 7-14, 7 wins, 14 losses, won 18 of their final 22. But the key is they won their regional and they won their super regional. But how did they even get into the tournament? Because that's a mediocre record. Well, conference winners, conference regular season winners and tournament winners are automatic qualifiers. They weren't one of them. They were an at-large team. They were the last at-large team taken for the NCAA. They were number 32 of 32. That is incredible. The last one, and they win the national championship. They did it yesterday coming from behind. They trailed Oklahoma 2-1 in the eighth inning, put on a big rally, first batter up, first pitch, base hit. Then they got a walk. Then they got a couple of hit batters, and both the tying run and eventual what turned out to be winning run, making it 3-2, both scored on wild pitches. It was an incredible scene, and the Mississippi Reds win it 4-2. It's a heck of a story and one that's certainly worth repeating.
You got to feel bad for those Oklahoma pitchers, though. Man, choke job.
The one guy, the guy who threw the two wild pitches, is a first-team All-American.
Oh, my God. Oh, he'll never forget you that day. I'll tell you that right now. So, Wimbledon coming up. Serena announced that she's going to be involved in it. How do you think she's going to do?
She'll do well. She's Serena Williams, and she is still a force in women's tennis. She hasn't played in a long time now. She had some warm-up matches, but in terms of the regular competition that she was, after all, she's 41 years old now and a mother and really hasn't concentrated all her time. Had to pull out last year because of a hamstring injury. But Wimbledon, that's the key to all of tennis. Kind of like the U.S. Open and Masters is for golf and so forth and so on. Well, for tennis, it's Wimbledon. So she is back. She'll do well. Whether or not she's going to win the thing, who knows? But she'll win her fair share of matches in that competition. And they are underway, and already they're being delayed because of rain.
Typical at Wimbledon for sure. Everyone's kind of up in arms about this Live Tour PGA thing. I think the thing that bothers me the most is now we have to talk about two golfing events all the time as opposed to just one.
Well, you put that in the plural that we. I'm not sure I'm going to. Now, that's
fine with me,
I
dude.
will admit to you that is prejudicial reporting on my part, but this doesn't have any credibility, this Live Tour, because it is not a legitimate competition. It's 48 players, all of whom get paid. That's an exhibition.
Yeah.
That's not a legitimate competition. Now, the Travelers this past weekend that Xander Schauffele won is legitimate competition. That's the PGA. But there may be other golfers now who pull out. The Live Tour does make its United States debut this weekend. They're in Portland, Oregon, or actually the suburbs of Portland, playing Pumpkin Ridge. That's a very fine course. But I'm told, judging by the reports, that the reception has been chilly at best.
Yeah. Well, where can you watch it? What is it going to be on a major?
Streaming.
Streaming only. No major networks carrying it.
No, sir.
A bunch of guys over 50 that watch golf every weekend are going to be looking to stream that on their computer somewhere. It's so stupid. I don't know how they're going to make the money, but I guess they're making it in other ways, and this is what you call a
sports washing.
Yes, that's the word.
This is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I know.
Bankrolling the whole thing. The prize winner will probably get $4.5 million. That's a great payday, but where is your public perception of all this? I'm anxious to see what the galleries are.
So how'd our baseball teams in Missouri do over the weekend?
Well, 3 of them played, and in the case of 2 of them, not so very well. But in the case of one, the team that is playing much better, that's the Springbirds. Springfield Cardinals do get a win. Big Cardinals lose to the Chicago Cubs, lose 2 out of 3 this weekend. That, Mike, is not acceptable. 6-5, Cardinals lost yesterday, but it's even more of a loss because Jack Flaherty, their star right-hander, out after 2 innings because of shoulder problems. Same shoulder that's kept him out the last 2 months. This poor guy, he just can't get a break. Anyway, how that's going to affect them, that remains to be seen, but the Cardinals lose a game play tonight against the Miami Marlins. Kansas City Royals, I'm not laughing to be silly about it, but they have not won a game on Sunday in 6 weeks.
Wow.
And they did not yesterday. Lost to the Oakland A's 5-3. This Kansas City team started out the last couple of weeks pretty well, hitting the ball. Of course, baseball's up and down, but Kansas City's had many more valleys than they have peaks this year, and that just is not the way I saw things happening. Anyway, the A's won it by a score of 5-3. Springbirds played last night. This is their swan song in Springdale, Arkansas for this series, and an 8-2 win for the Springfield, and they're playing well. They're getting better. This is the halfway point of the season in the Texas League. They return home tomorrow night to be playing the Wichita Wind Surge. That's the Minnesota Twins AA farm team. They'll be here for 6 games right on through the 4th of July weekend. Very big week coming up. Fireworks the entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Should be a lot of fun.
Should be, and that's always the great thing to have them in town for the 4th. We kind of knew it was going to happen. We're just kind of waiting for the win in the Stanley Cup Finals between the Avalanche and Lightning. And Colorado got it done yesterday.
They did by the very hair on the puck, and there is none.
Is there any hair there?
No. 2-1 was the final, and a terrific match. And Mike, when you take a look at these teams, I'm not a student of hockey in any way, but there's virtually no difference between them. It's a matter of the breaks. And Colorado, which made their breaks all season long, they're very fast, and that's what won for them in last night's game. Could have gone either way, a break here, break there. There was one point in the third period, scores 2-1, favor Colorado. Midway through the third period, one of the Colorado players up ice comes up and he fires a puck across the ice to his partner on the other side. The Tampa Bay player came within a microsecond. You couldn't even count the amount of time it took, just a tiny little bit. He missed it. Had he gotten it, he's going one-on-one with that goalie, and who knows what could have happened. They're the breaks that I'm talking about. In a fast game like hockey, anything can happen. Tampa Bay's a great team, 2 times Stanley Cup champions. Do lose it this time. Colorado parades around the ice, and one of the great features of hockey that I do love is the sportsmanship at the end when the teams get together and shake hands. They don't all know each other. Many of them do. They played on the same teams, or they're from Canada and neighboring towns and so forth. But they congratulate each other, and that with the handshakes and the pat on the back and so forth. These are guys who have been mugging each other out on the ice. And that's the interesting thing about it, because hockey has that tradition of great sportsmanship.
Yeah, well, make no mistake, Ned, that some of those guys hate the other guys, and that's no lie. I mean, it happens. It's been happening. And it's going to continue happening. Hockey is a very physical game, and the hatred runs deep. All right, let's switch gears here, literally to Nashville. Had some racing going on in Tennessee, didn't we?
You mean it's over? Has the race ended?
I don't know. I was watching hockey yesterday.
The race in Nashville started way, way before the hockey match and ended way, way afterwards. They had 2 major delays because of lightning. That's a new rule that NASCAR's put in recently. They have to delay until lightning's out of the area. Well, there were a couple hours delayed.
Oh, my goodness.
They ended after 11 o'clock. And Chase Elliott got the win. He was able to arrest the lead. This is a 400-mile race. They started, at 4 in the afternoon, I think it was, and ended 11 at night. Anyway, that's a big race at the Nashville Superspeedway. Second time that they've raced down there. And Chase Elliott is the individual who takes the checkered flag finally in the wee hours.
So is the lightning protection for the drivers or the fans?
Yes. Both of them.
Yes.
In all honesty, it's mostly for the fans as opposed to the drivers. But you've got to be very careful. They do it in NCAA action. You delay football games. They delayed the baseball games. Where was that? It was one of the regionals. They delayed a regional when the sun was out. but there was lightning 15 to 20 miles away. And under the rules, they had to stop, and the fans are booing and carrying on.
Yeah.
Where was that? It may have been in Oklahoma. Yes, it was the Stillwater.
Really?
Stillwater Regional. And the fans are carrying on, raising hell. Sun's out, everything's fine.
You can see
Umpires
lightning.
stop the game.
It's I'll never being in the booth and looking at the radar and seeing it coming and just fingers crossed you don't see lightning. It's a scary time, Ned. You have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.